Last night, tennis had a full meltdown. And if you were awake past midnight, phone in hand, doom scrolling through the chaos, you already know exactly what I mean. Fans in Manila were screaming. Fans in Madrid were screaming louder. Tennis Twitter transformed into something between a war zone and a fever dream, with comment sections flooded, group chats exploding, and any hope of a decent night's sleep completely abandoned. All of it, every single second of that chaos, traced back to one image, one screenshot, supposedly showing the first-round draw for the 2026 Madrid Open. And right there, clear as day, Alex Ayala versus Paula Badosa, the Filipino prodigy against the Spanish icon on Badosa's home clay, in front of her own crowd. Honestly, you couldn't pitch a more dramatic opening act if you tried. So today we're going all in. The rumor, the real draw, the tactical chess. Match between these two styles, the history, however short and painful, between these two players, and what all of it signals for the clay season ahead. Stick with me, because this one has layers. First, let's paint the picture properly. We're deep in the European clay swing now, that grueling, beautiful stretch of the calendar where the game transforms. Rallies stretch longer, points become grinded-out battles. Physical conditioning stops being a quiet advantage and starts being the difference between surviving a tournament and being sent home early. The Caja Magica in Madrid is already one of the most electrically charged venues in professional tennis. When a Spanish player walks out, that stadium doesn't just cheer, it vibrates. The crowd there breathes life into their favorites in a way that borders on something spiritual. And for Badosa, that energy is almost a superpower. Into that atmosphere, someone dropped a screenshot. Nobody knows where it came from. These things never come with a return address. They just appear, always at the most inconvenient possible hour, and spread instantly. Within minutes, fans were losing their minds on two different continents. The phrase that went viral alongside the image, "No sleep, said everything about what it means to love this sport. Whether you're watching European clay court, tennis at 2 a.m. in Southeast Asia, or tracking tournaments on the other side of the world from Spain, tennis fandom doesn't respect your sleep schedule. It never has. And last night, nobody even cared. Because if that screenshot was real, it was worth every lost hour. But here's where I have to be straight with you, before we go a single step further, because you deserve that. The official draw tells a completely different story. The leak was fake. Badosa, entering the tournament on a wild card after clawing her way back from yet another devastating injury, is actually scheduled to open against Austrian player Julia Graber. Alex, meanwhile, draws a qualifier in round 1. The dream match isn't happening on day 1. It's just not. But here's the thing, and this is why we're still spending the next 15+ minutes on this topic. The reaction to that rumor revealed something genuinely important. It showed us exactly how desperately the tennis world wants to see these two women on the same court. It surfaced every compelling storyline, every contrast, every piece of unfinished business between them. And it gave us the perfect excuse to really dig into where both players are right now, what they're each fighting to prove during this clay swing, and why their potential collision later in the draw would be must-watch television. Let's start with Badosa, because her relationship with Madrid is one of the most emotionally loaded dynamics in all of women's tennis right now. At her absolute peak, she was ranked number 2 in the world. She won Indian Wells. She played with a ferocity and confidence that made her genuinely unmissable, the kind of player where you stop what you're doing when she's on court. The way she strikes a tennis ball, especially on clay, is almost violent, in the best sense. Heavy, penetrating topspin off the forehand. A flat two-handed backhand she can redirect down the line with surgical precision. She doesn't build points politely. She hunts. She applies relentless pressure. She makes opponents feel like they're constantly one shot away from being completely overwhelmed. But tennis has a way of humbling even the most gifted players. And Badosa's story over the past few years has been defined as much by heartbreak as by brilliance. severe back problems, stress fractures, injuries that didn't just cost her matches, they cost her entire seasons, entire chapters of her career she'll never get back. Every comeback has carried the same quiet, hovering question. Not about her talent, nobody doubts that, but about whether her body can withstand the physical punishment of elite clay court tennis, which is honestly one of the most demanding things a human being can voluntarily put themselves through. Walking into Madrid, ranked around 400 in the world, entering on a wild card, she carries all of that weight with every step onto that court. The crowd will be deafening for her. They love her in a way that transcends results. But that love creates its own pressure, an invisible opponent that adds to every scoreline. When she's playing well, that noise is pure fuel. When things start to slip, it can feel like the walls are closing in. That tightrope is what makes Badosa's matches in Spain so emotionally compelling. Every match is a statement. Every game is a test of more than just her forehand. Now let's talk about Alex. And honestly, where do you even begin? She represents the Philippines on the WTA Tour at the highest level, and what she's already done for tennis in Southeast Asia is historic. She hasn't just inspired a generation of Filipino kids to pick up a racket. She's forced the entire global tennis conversation to actually pay attention to a region the sport has historically overlooked. That's not a small thing. That's enormous. On the court, sitting around world number 45, she's no longer just a promising junior collecting hype. She's a battle-tested professional with a game specifically built to cause problems on clay. And the foundation of everything she does traces back to one place, the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. Think about what that actually means. The philosophy baked into that environment is about clay court dominance at its most fundamental level. Endless topspin, relentless court coverage, point construction built on patience and positioning rather than brute force, and the mental toughness to absorb punishment and keep fighting until the opponent breaks. Alex absorbed all of that, and then she added her own weapon on top of it, the left hand. As a left-handed player, her forehand goes cross-court directly into the backhand of a right-handed opponent, a direction most players on tour rarely have to defend at that pace and angle. The ball comes from a different trajectory, kicks up differently, gets into the body differently. On clay, where the bounce is already unpredictable, that left-handed topspin forehand becomes something close to a nightmare to deal with consistently. In Madrid specifically, where the altitude sits at roughly 660 meters above sea level, the thin air makes the ball travel faster and bounce significantly higher than at any other clay event in Europe. That weapon becomes even more dangerous. A heavy topspin ball from Alex's forehand in Madrid can rear up well above shoulder height on an opponent's backhand side. At that point, you're not trying to win the point, you're trying to survive it. She's also entered the WTA 125 event in Parma alongside her Madrid campaign, which tells you everything about her mentality. This isn't someone coasting on potential. This is someone deliberately stacking competitive clay court time, building match sharpness, preparing strategically for a deep run. The tennis world noticed. That's exactly why when that fake draw dropped, and fans saw her name beside Badosa's, the reaction wasn't confusion. It was immediate, visceral excitement. Because stylistically, these two players represent a clash that feels almost written by a screenwriter. On one side, the established veteran, right-handed, heavy flat ball striking. A serve that, when it's really clicking in Madrid's thin air, is borderline unreturnable. A style built to end points quickly before rallies drag her into physical territory she doesn't want to be in. On the other side, the fearless disruptor, left-handed, built for long exchanges, a movement engine that doesn't seem to run out of fuel. A game philosophy designed specifically to grind opponents down on clay until they mentally unravel. The defining tactical battle in that hypothetical match would have been Alex's left-handed forehand, relentlessly cross-court, targeting Badosa's two-handed backhand. Paula has a genuinely excellent backhand. She can redirect it down the line with real authority, but Alex would need to hit with such depth and consistency that Badosa could never step in and flatten it out, forcing longer exchanges, more physical work, more time on court. Badosa's approach would need to be almost the opposite. Get into the point early, use the altitude to earn weak returns off that massive serve, step forward and impose. Take the pace away before the rally ever really develops. Two completely different blueprints, both with a legitimate path to winning. And the psychological dimension would have matched the tactical one for intrigue. Badosa playing at home, fighting to prove she belongs back at this level, carrying the weight of a passionate crowd's enormous expectations. Alex stepping in as the fearless outsider, nothing to lose, everything to gain. Exactly the role that young, confident players can weaponize on the biggest stages when they trust their game enough to play freely. That kind of match doesn't just produce great tennis, it produces moments. Here's the layer that makes all of this even more poignant. These two actually do have a history. Or rather, they have the beginning of one that was brutally cut short before it ever fully started. At the 2025 Miami Open, just over a year ago, they were drawn to play each other in the round of 16. Real match, real stakes. American, hard courts, anticipation building. And then Badosa was forced to withdraw before a single ball was struck. A walkover for Alex that felt hollow for everyone involved. She advanced without the experience of competing against a top-tier opponent. In a meaningful moment, and Badosa suffered yet another devastating setback. The match that everyone wanted to see simply never happened. That's the wound the Madrid leak accidentally reopened. When fans saw that screenshot, a lot of them weren't just excited about a potential first-round match. They were reacting to the idea that the universe was finally going to deliver what Miami took away. The story that never got its first chapter was somehow going to get its sequel. And when the official draw came out and proved otherwise, the collective exhale of disappointment was almost tangible. That kind of emotional investment in a match that technically hasn't even happened yet, that's genuinely rare in sports. It tells you exactly how much both of these stories have already captured people. Stepping back from the past 24 hours of drama, though, this whole situation is actually a perfect illustration of where women's tennis is right now. The WTA in 2026 is genuinely fascinating to follow. And the clay swing in particular separates players in ways the hardcourt season simply doesn't. Clay demands tactical intelligence. It demands patience, physical endurance, and the ability to construct points across longer time frames. Players who rely purely on power without the positional discipline to back it up get exposed quickly on dirt. The ones who thrive are the ones who can blend offensive intent with tactical patience. Badosa and Alex represent different but equally compelling versions of that balance. For Badosa, this tournament is about something deeper than a result. It's about proof. Proof that her back can handle 3 sets of demanding clay court tennis. Proof that her game, when her body cooperates, still belongs among the very best. Proof to herself more than anyone that the work she's put in during recovery has not been wasted. Grab her won't be a comfortable first match. She's a solid professional who won't hand Badosa anything for free. But if Paula is striking the ball the way she can at her best, she should be able to impose herself and advance. The real test will come in the rounds after that, assuming the scoreboard and her body stay on her side long enough to build some momentum. For Alex, the approach is entirely different. She's not in survival mode, she's in attack mode. The qualifier she faces in round 1 will arrive battle-hardened from 3 qualifying matches with good rhythm and court feel. That's a real challenge, not a free pass. But if Alex handles it with the quality her clay game is capable of, she moves into round 2 with confidence and starts eyeing what the draw holds ahead. A deep run here isn't just desirable for her, it's necessary. She needs to keep proving she belongs not just in the top 50, but among the genuine contenders at events at this level. The Parma entry alongside Madrid signals a strategic mind at work, stacking competitive clay court minutes, sharpening everything precisely when the stakes start to climb. Looking at both their paths through this tournament, whether or not they eventually meet somewhere down the draw, these two are going to be among the most closely watched players in Madrid. The crowd will follow Badosa everywhere she goes inside the Caja Magica. And the global tennis audience, especially everyone watching from Southeast Asia and beyond, will have their eyes on Alex every time she steps on a court. That's the power of the storylines these two women carry right now, and if the draw does somehow conspire to put them in the same match later in the tournament, the internet will lose its mind in a way that will make last night look like a quiet Tuesday. So here's where we land. A viral moment built on fiction, wrapped around realities that couldn't be more genuine. The tennis world went sleepless over a screenshot, and in doing so, told us exactly who the most compelling figures of this clay season are. Paula Badosa, the resilient, ferocious, heavy-hitting veteran clawing her way back to the top on the courts that love her most. And Alex Ayala, the relentless, left-handed, Nadal Academy-forged force from the Philippines, who is no longer knocking on the door. She's kicked it open, walked in, and sat down at the table like she belongs there, because she does. Whether or not they share a court in round one, both their journeys through Madrid are going to be unmissable. And if you want to know what real tennis drama looks like, just watch what happens next.